If you don't take control of your day early, get ready because somebody else will. That's how it works. Either you're in charge or you're being used. If you don't decide what you'll do today, someone else will make that decision for you. And they won't care about your goals. They won't protect your time. They'll just take it. One request, one distraction, one task at a time. Most people don't lose their day because of laziness. They lose it because they didn't lead it. They left the door wide open. No plan, no priority, no focus. And when you do that, the world rushes in. Messages, demands, noise, pressure. It fills the space fast. By the time you realize it, your energy's gone and your important work is still sitting there untouched. So here's the question. Who's running your day? Is it you, or is it everything and everyone around you? This video will show you how to take control from the first hour. Because once you build that habit, once you claim your schedule, your energy, your goals, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start deciding. You stop being pulled. You start moving forward. Watch this all the way through. This isn't motivation. This is instruction. If you want your life back, it starts by taking back the hours you've been giving away, one strong day at a time. Number one, let discipline speak first, not opinions or emotions. If you want to win the day, if you want to shape your life into something strong and meaningful, then you have to let discipline speak first, not your opinions, not your emotions. Discipline is the voice that builds your future. Emotions, if not trained, will run you in circles. And opinions, everyone has one, and most of them don't help you move forward. Discipline is quiet, but it always shows up with results. Opinions are loud. Emotions can be all over the place. But discipline brings clarity. Each morning, something will try to take control of your day. Maybe it's how you feel when you wake up. Maybe you feel tired, lazy, unmotivated. Or maybe someone calls and pulls you into their problems. Or maybe you reach for your phone and lose 2 hours before you even begin anything useful. That's what happens when emotions or distractions are in charge. You move through the day reacting instead of deciding. You end the day tired, but you're not satisfied. You were busy, but you didn't move forward. Now, discipline works differently. Discipline is about showing up, whether you feel like it or not. It's about doing the thing you said you would do. It's about keeping your promise to yourself. That's where confidence comes from. Confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from action. It comes from watching yourself take control of your time, your habits, your effort. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you win a little. And those small wins stack up. You don't see the result in one day. You don't even feel it sometimes. But if you keep choosing discipline, it changes who you are. I'll tell you the truth. Most people don't do this. Most people wake up and follow their feelings. They wait for the right mood to start working. They wait for energy. They wait for motivation. But the clock keeps moving. Whether you're ready or not, the world won't wait for your mood to improve. The opportunity won't wait until you feel excited. That's why discipline matters. It doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. Discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect. It's saying my goals matter. My time matters. My future matters. When you train yourself to act on what's necessary, not just what's comfortable, you build strength. You build the kind of life that doesn't fall apart when things get hard. Because they will get hard. Life will challenge you. But if discipline is in charge, you don't quit. You adjust. You adapt. You push forward. Think about it. How many times have your emotions convinced you to delay something important? How many times have you told yourself, I'll do it later, and later turned into never? That's not a life led by discipline. That's a life led by escape. And the longer you live like that, the further you drift from what really matters. The day will always belong to someone. If it's not you, then someone else will run it for you. Your boss, your friends, the world, your habits, your distractions. They'll all have their say. And if you don't step in and take the lead, they'll take your energy, your time, your potential. Discipline is what draws the line. Discipline says, this is my time. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to wait until it's easy. You need to start, and you need to keep starting, over and over, every single morning. You wake up and you ask yourself, what do I need to do today that moves me forward? And then you do it, especially when you don't feel like it. that's when it matters most. People think success is about talent or luck. It's not. It's about what you do consistently. And consistency lives inside discipline. One day of effort doesn't change your life, but one day repeated every day, that changes everything. The world starts to notice when you start to take yourself seriously, and you'll notice it too, in your energy, in your confidence, in how you speak, how you think, how you show up. Discipline makes you proud of who you are becoming. You have to be willing to lead yourself. No one is coming to push you every day. No one will remind you why you started. No one else cares about your dreams more than you. So act like it. Get serious about your habits. Be firm with your time. Stop letting temporary emotions destroy long-term progress. There's a better version of you waiting, but you won't meet that version if your feelings keep running the show. Discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't complain. It doesn't ask for attention, but it wins. Quietly, steadily, daily, it wins. And every time you let it lead, you build something real. So when you wake up tomorrow, before you check your phone, before you talk to anyone, ask yourself, what would discipline do? Then go do it. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because it feels good, but because it's right. That's how you take control. That's how you build a day that belongs to you. And when you learn to control one day, you learn how to control your life. Number 2, act with urgency, or be used by someone else. If you don't move with urgency, someone else will move you for their own reasons. That's the truth. Most people wake up every day without a real sense of time. They think they have all day, all week, all year. And because they think they have time, they move slow. They put things off. They wait. That's how people lose control of their day. They hand it over without realizing it. You don't lose a day all at once. It slips away in small decisions. You delay 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and soon you're out of time. You have to act with urgency, not panic. Urgency. That means your time matters. Your effort matters. Your focus matters. Every hour counts because you only get so many. People will use you if you don't protect your hours. They'll pull you into their tasks, their problems, their timelines. And if you're not urgent about what matters to you, you'll keep showing up for what matters to everyone else. That's how people stay stuck, busy all day, but not moving their life forward. They're being used without even noticing, and they keep wondering why they feel behind. When you walk into a day with no plan, it takes you wherever it wants. But when you walk in with urgency, you take charge. You move with direction. You start early. You get focused. You make quick decisions. You don't scroll through your morning hoping for energy. You create it by starting. That's what urgency does. It builds momentum. And with momentum, you stop needing motivation. You just go. You stop doubting. You stop dragging. You stop talking yourself out of things that need to be done now. The world doesn't wait for slow thinkers. It rewards people who move. When an idea shows up, urgency says act on it. When an opportunity appears, urgency says go for it. Waiting too long is how people talk themselves out of success. They keep overthinking. They keep waiting for a perfect time. But life doesn't wait for perfection. It rewards action. If you don't take control, someone else will. Your boss, your phone, your stress, your emotions. They'll all run the day, and you'll just follow, wondering where your energy went. People who move slow live in regret. They know what they should do, but they don't do it. They watch time slip, and they make peace with it. But it never feels right. There's a quiet frustration that builds up. They know they could do more, but they don't. That's the cost of ignoring urgency. That's the price of giving your time to everything except what really matters. And at the end of the day, it's not the tasks you finished that bother you. It's the ones you kept putting off. Urgency means you care enough about your future to act now. It means you don't need someone to chase you around. You don't wait for the perfect mood. You train yourself to take action the moment you know what to do. Most of the time, it's not a mystery. People know what needs to be done, but they sit on it. They hold off. They hide behind fear, or comfort, or distraction. That's not life. That's avoidance. And if you keep avoiding your own goals, you'll end up building someone else's dream. There's no excuse for drifting through the day. You've got one shot at this day, one. And you can either lead it or let it lead you. The truth is, the world will give you 1,000 things to react to. Messages, noise, requests, delays, emotions. All of it wants your attention. But none of it makes your life better unless you stay focused. Urgency helps you say no. It reminds you what matters. It keeps your mind sharp. You stop getting pulled into nonsense. You stop giving your best hours to low-value distractions. Acting with urgency doesn't mean rushing. It means being clear. It means knowing what's important and starting before the moment is perfect. You don't need more time. You need better use of the time you already have. You don't need more advice. You need to apply what you already know. Urgency clears the fog. You stop waiting for life to feel easy. You start creating momentum by showing up strong, early, focused, not someday, now, because now is all you really have. Later is a lie. Someday never shows up. But now that's real. That's where progress lives. You have to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Why are you giving your time away to things that don't move you forward? Why are you hesitating on things you already know need to be done? Most people think time is flexible. But the truth is, it's not. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. The more you delay, the more confidence you lose. You don't build discipline by thinking. You build it by doing. You move your life by moving your feet. And the only way to win your day is to act with urgency. Every day is a test of who's in charge. You or the world around you. If you don't decide, someone else will decide for you. That's how time gets stolen. That's how progress gets lost. That's how potential dies in silence. But if you choose to move with urgency, you take back the hours. You take back the power. You don't drift. You drive. You don't get used. You build. And by the time the day ends, you feel it. You earned this one. That's the difference between those who wait and those who win. You either take control or get controlled. Choose well. Number 3. Own your focus before the world grabs it. Every morning you wake up, your attention is the first thing at risk. Before you even speak, the world is already waiting to pull your mind in 10 different directions. That's why your focus has to be owned, not borrowed. If you don't take full control of it early, you'll hand it over without even noticing. You check a message, answer a call, scroll through nonsense, and just like that, your focus is gone. The rest of the day feels scattered, and even if you stay busy, you don't feel accomplished. It all started with not guarding your focus. Your focus is your energy. Where it goes, your results follow. If you give it to things that don't build your life, you'll wake up one day surrounded by things that don't matter. You can't let everyone else decide what deserves your mind. The news, the drama, the noise, it all demands your attention. But none of it improves your future. That's the trap. People believe being informed means being in control. But real control starts when you choose what not to look at, what not to engage in, and what not to carry in your mind. You can't do meaningful work in a distracted state. You need clarity, you need stillness. That comes from deciding what deserves your eyes and your thoughts the moment your day begins. If you don't decide, the world will gladly decide for you, and you won't like where it leads you. You'll keep chasing other people's problems, reacting to other people's plans, and building other people's priorities. You'll be exhausted from running all day, but feel like you accomplished nothing real. That's the price of losing your focus early in the day. There's a moment right when the day starts, when you get to choose who's in charge. It's quiet. Nothing is pulling you yet. That's when you take your focus and point it where it counts. Not your phone, not your inbox, not the noise. You point it to what matters, to the work, to the goals, to the effort that moves you forward. That moment decides everything. And if you waste it, the rest of the day gets harder. Not because you're lazy, but because you started in the wrong direction. People underestimate how much power there is in a focused hour. One clear hour of effort beats 8 hours of scattered movement. But you only get that kind of clarity when you protect your focus. You don't owe the world your mind first thing in the morning. You owe yourself your own attention. You owe yourself your own thoughts. That's how progress starts. Not in chaos, not in noise, in quiet focus, in intentional thinking, and in work that's done with full awareness of why it matters. If you let the world get to your focus first, It'll keep it all day. You'll be checking, reacting, jumping, answering, but never creating. You'll confuse activity with progress, and at the end of the day, you'll feel used. Not because you're not working hard, but because you're not working on your priorities. That's what happens when your focus is taken. The people around you, the apps you use, the demands you respond to, they all gain and you lose. Focus isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing without being pulled away. Owning your focus also means owning your habits. You have to train your brain to resist the pull of distraction. That means you turn off what doesn't serve you. That means you don't open apps you don't need. That means you don't start your day by drowning in everyone else's noise. If you start with noise, your whole day will feel loud. If you start with intention, your whole day moves smoother. That choice happens every morning, and every day you choose wrong, you lose hours you'll never get back. People who control their day all have one thing in common. They know where their focus belongs. They don't chase 10 things. They go after one with everything they've got. That's why they grow. That's why they feel progress. That's why they stay grounded when everyone else feels overwhelmed. It's not that they don't have distractions. They just don't give those distractions their mind. They protect it. They feed it what it needs. And because of that, they move through the day with purpose, not pressure. You don't need more time in a day. You need to stop giving your time to the wrong things. And it starts with focus. It starts with choosing what matters before everything else demands your attention. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control what gets your attention. That control is everything. When you own your focus, you own your energy. You move faster, you think clearer, you feel stronger. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped handing your power to distractions. The world is always watching to see if you're available. If you don't protect your focus, it will assume you are. You'll be pulled into conversations, tasks, messages, and nonsense that has nothing to do with your life. But if you show up with clarity and intention, you become unavailable to chaos. You become steady. You move with a different kind of energy. And people notice, not because you're loud, but because you're focused. You're not just busy, you're building something that matters. And that kind of life only comes when you own your focus before the world grabs it. Number 4. If you delay once, you'll lose the whole day. When you delay once, it rarely stops at once. That small decision to put something off becomes the tone of your entire day. You think it's just 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes stretch. Your mind gets lazy. Your energy dips. You tell yourself you'll get back on track later, but later never comes. That one delay weakens your rhythm. It lowers your urgency. And before you know it, half your day is gone, and you haven't done what actually matters. That's the hidden cost of delay. It doesn't take hours to ruin your day. It takes one poor choice. You wake up with a window of control. That window is small but powerful. When you act quickly, when you start strong, you create momentum. You feel it. Your brain locks in. Your energy sharpens. You become intentional. But when you pause, when you let hesitation in, that window starts to close. And it doesn't just affect one task. It spills into everything. You move slower. You doubt more. You allow interruptions. It's not about time. It's about power. Delay trades your power for comfort, and comfort gives you nothing in return but lost hours. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they can get the time back. But a delayed day can't be rescued by effort later. Once the rhythm is broken, it's gone. You can't get sharp focus at night if you spent the morning distracted. You can't reach your goals when your habits are always pushed back. Waiting doesn't just waste time. It breaks trust with yourself. You stop believing in your own discipline. That's how people slowly lose their drive. Not all at once, but one small delay at a time. You might think it's no big deal to skip one task or snooze the alarm once, but every decision trains your mind. If you allow delay today, it becomes easier to allow it tomorrow. The brain follows patterns, and once you teach it that delay is acceptable, it stops fighting for your goals. You become someone who talks more than acts, someone who plans but never builds, all because of one delay that became a habit. That's the danger. Delay doesn't come to visit. It comes to stay. If you don't shut the door, discipline isn't built through perfect days. It's built through moments when you refuse to delay. That moment when you feel like stopping but move anyway. That's where power is created. It's uncomfortable. Yes, but growth always is. When you delay, you're choosing comfort over responsibility. And comfort is expensive. It costs you momentum. It costs you strength. And it costs you time you will never get back. People think they're being kind to themselves by waiting, but there's nothing kind about wasting potential. The world is not waiting for you to feel ready. The day moves with or without your participation. Every delay means you're reacting instead of leading. You're following instead of building. If you want to feel proud at the end of the day, don't delay. Start, move. Do the task, even if it's small, because those small tasks stack up. And when you complete them early, you feel in control. That feeling carries over into everything. Delay kills that feeling. It hands your day to everything but you. There's something powerful about completing something early. It creates freedom. You think you're buying time when you delay, but you're actually stealing it from yourself. When you finish things quickly, you free up space, mental space, emotional space. You walk lighter because you're not carrying tasks around all day. You're not dragging unfinished work in your head. That freedom gives you energy. That energy makes you faster. Delay does the opposite. It weighs you down. It turns simple things into stress. That stress follows you through every hour. What most people don't realize is how delay affects confidence. Every time you put something off, you tell yourself, I can't handle this now. And your mind believes you. You start to question your ability to stay committed. And when you don't believe in your commitment, you stop aiming high. You lower your standards. You accept average. That's how delay quietly lowers your entire life. Not through big failures, but through quiet daily choices to avoid effort. The longer you wait, the smaller your world becomes. Success doesn't require massive action all day long. It requires showing up on time with full attention. It requires keeping your own promises. It requires starting when it's time to start. That's where most people fail. They just don't begin. They keep waiting for the right time. But the right time doesn't show up. It's created by action. When you delay, you're handing over that control. You're giving up the only moment that actually exists. Now, you can talk about tomorrow. But tomorrow is shaped by today. And today is slipping every time you wait. You don't need to work harder. You need to stop delaying what you already know needs to be done. That's the breakthrough. If you can get through the first resistance, if you can act instead of waiting, you've already beaten most of the world. Because most people lose their day in the first hour. Not because they aren't capable, but because they paused. And that pause became the pattern. Break that pattern. Choose movement over hesitation. Choose effort over waiting. Choose discipline over delay. That's how you take your day back before it disappears. Number 5. Take full control of your schedule every morning. Your schedule isn't just a list of tasks. It's a reflection of who you are becoming every morning. The moment your feet hit the floor, you're either taking charge of your time or giving it away. If you don't sit down and decide exactly how your hours will be used, the world will fill them for you. Other people's plans, unexpected problems, empty distractions, they'll sneak in and steal your day. That's why your schedule must be yours, not accidental. Without a clear plan, you won't feel productive. You'll feel pulled, and that's how you start to lose control. When you take full control of your schedule every morning, you do more than plan. You lead. You begin with awareness, with clear thinking, with purpose. You decide where your energy will go and what doesn't deserve it. You make space for what matters. You stop starting the day on defense. Too many people wake up and jump straight into whatever shows up first. That might be an email, a message, or just some noise on a screen. But that small decision, starting without planning, leads to wasted hours and mental fog. You need that quiet space in the morning to map the direction. No phone, no noise, just you, your time, and a blank schedule waiting to be filled with things that move your life forward. If you don't fill it intentionally, it'll be filled by pressure, by urgency, by everyone else's priorities. That's when the day starts to run you. You chase it, you rush through it, You feel exhausted from reacting to everything. It's not that you're lazy, it's that you didn't take command at the start. A strong morning schedule builds mental strength. It gives you control before the world asks for a piece of you. When you plan your morning, you don't waste time figuring out what to do next. You already know. That clarity saves you hours. It sharpens your focus. You don't have to scroll for motivation. You're already moving. When your mind knows what to expect, it works better. You stop drifting. You stop second guessing. You get in motion. And that motion builds consistency. People who feel overwhelmed often aren't doing too much. They're doing too much without structure. They leave their time open, and everything finds its way in. Every small thing looks urgent when your day has no boundaries. But when you set the terms every morning, you protect your peace. You choose what deserves your time and what doesn't. That power changes everything. You say no faster. You stop explaining yourself. You know what you're working toward, and you defend that with your actions. There's no perfect way to schedule a day, but there's always a better way than no plan at all. Even a simple list gives you structure. Even a rough draft of your hours gives you direction. You don't need perfection, you need intention. That's what taking full control means. You know what tasks come first. You know when you work best. You know where your distractions show up. You adjust, you fine-tune, you improve. But it all begins with choosing to sit down every morning and write the day before it writes you. This kind of planning isn't just about productivity, it's about power. When you manage your day, you begin to believe in your ability to manage your life. That belief is everything. You stop being someone who just responds to life. You start being someone who creates results. Confidence grows when your time is spent with purpose. Every day you control becomes proof that you're serious. You don't waste energy wondering what to do. You don't leave your goals to chance. You operate with structure, and structure brings progress. No one is going to manage your schedule for you. And if they do, it won't be in your best interest. That's why you have to decide who owns your time. If it's not you, it's someone who doesn't care about your growth. The cost of not scheduling your day is living a life built around everyone else. You become useful to their plans but invisible in your own. That's not freedom. That's frustration. But the good news is you can take control back, starting every single morning. Taking full control doesn't mean you'll follow the plan perfectly. Life happens. But even when things go off track, you'll adjust with strength because you started with clarity. That's the difference between moving with intention and reacting out of chaos. A written schedule grounds you. It reminds you what matters. It keeps you focused when distractions show up. It holds you to your own standards. And that consistency leads to trust in yourself, trust in your vision, and trust in your ability to finish what you start. You don't need to wait for the perfect system or the perfect time to begin. Start with what you have. Start with the hours in front of you. Write it down. Block time for your goals. Guard it like it decides your future, because it does. If you don't control your day, someone else will. And the more days you hand over, the further you drift from the life you want. Take full control of your schedule every morning, not for routine, not for perfection, but for freedom, for clarity, and for a life that moves because you lead it. Number 6. If you stay passive, your day gets wasted fast. If you begin your day in a passive state, you hand over control before you even begin. The day doesn't wait for you to be ready. It starts moving with or without your permission. And when you're not leading it, something or someone else will. Passivity shows up as hesitation, overthinking, distractions, or simply doing what's easiest. The problem is that these things don't build anything. They don't challenge you. They don't move you forward. They just keep you where you are. And by the time the day is over, you realize it's slipped through your hands without any meaningful progress. A passive mind starts slow, drifts easily, and reacts instead of decides. That's how you lose your time. You respond to whatever shows up first. You say yes to things that don't belong in your schedule. You waste your best energy on tasks that don't deserve it. And then you wonder why you're tired but still behind. It's not because you didn't work. It's because your work didn't move you anywhere. That's what happens when you stay passive. You're active, but you're not advancing. You're busy, but not intentional. Passivity is not laziness. It's the habit of letting the day decide what matters. You might still do things, but they won't be your things. You'll spend hours on side issues, small tasks, other people's demands. And once the clock runs out, your goals are still sitting there untouched. That's a painful place to be. You feel like you gave your day away. Not because you chose to, but because you never stepped in and said, "This is what I will do today. This is what matters right now." Being passive steals your sense of progress. When you don't direct your day, you can't measure your growth. There's no target, no focus, no satisfaction, just hours gone. You'll keep asking yourself, "What did I actually get done?" And the answer will hurt. You'll feel like something's missing, even if you were busy. That feeling doesn't go away until you take control back. You have to get out of the waiting mindset. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the right mood. Nothing changes until you act on purpose. The longer you stay passive, the harder it gets to regain momentum. Delay becomes normal. Avoidance becomes routine. You stop challenging yourself. You stop showing up early. You lose your fire without realizing it. And what's dangerous is that life still moves forward. The days don't pause while you figure it out. They keep passing, and without action you fall behind. Not just on your tasks, but on your potential. That's the price of passivity. Quiet regret that builds every day you stay still. It's a hard truth, but no one is coming to force you into action. No one will drag you into your goals. No one will care more about your future than you do. That's why passivity is so dangerous. It hides behind comfort, but it leads to frustration. It feels easier now, but it costs you later. You need to take control before the day picks its own path. You need to lead yourself before your environment leads you in the wrong direction. Control doesn't come after action. It comes before the first hour of the day is where control is gained or lost. If you begin passively, you invite interruptions. You make yourself available to everything but your priorities. But if you start with clear action, you set the tone. Your brain wakes up with direction. You stop looking for reasons to wait. You stop checking distractions. You move with strength. That small shift can decide whether the entire day is won or wasted. Passivity destroys that opportunity before it begins. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to stop waiting. Start with one task that matters. One step that brings clarity. That alone shifts you from passive to intentional. Once you move, momentum builds. You think clearer. You choose better. You follow through more often. That's how change starts. Not with huge action, but with immediate ownership. Waiting will always feel safer, but it gives you nothing in return. Action feels harder at first, but it builds the life you want to live. If you don't choose how to spend your time, the world will do it for you, and it won't ask for your permission. It will fill your hours with noise, requests, distractions, and tasks that lead nowhere. That's the silent risk of staying passive. You become a tool in someone else's plan. But the moment you take charge, the moment you say, "This is mine to lead," everything begins to shift. You start designing your day, not surviving it. You stop drifting and start directing. You start acting like your time matters, because it does. Control is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, with full effort, from the beginning of the day. Passivity will keep you trapped in a cycle of doing everything except the thing that moves you forward. The only way out is to start, not later, not when it feels right. Now, the longer you delay, the more the day slips away. The more you wait, the easier it gets to do nothing. And by then, your day's not yours anymore. It belongs to everything you didn't stop. Take control. Start strong. Don't wait to act to win. Number 7. Put yourself first today or you'll come last. Putting yourself first isn't selfish, it's survival. When you don't start the day by taking care of your own goals, your own priorities, and your own growth, you leave the door open for everything else to take over. People will ask for your time. Noise will pull at your attention. Distractions will pile up. And if you haven't already claimed space for yourself, you'll end up chasing what doesn't belong to you. Your energy will be scattered. Your plans forgotten. The day becomes about everything except what you need. That's how you slowly lose control of your own progress. If you don't choose yourself, don't expect anyone else to. The world isn't designed to give you quiet time, focused hours, or mental space. That has to be created by you, and it has to start early. The earlier you give yourself direction, the stronger you move through the day. But when you wait, when you put others ahead of your own path, your day gets rewritten. Your time gets filled with problems you didn't choose. Your energy gets spent before it reaches what matters. And the worst part? You let it happen because you never said no. Every time you choose someone else's demand over your own discipline, you fall further behind. You think you're being helpful or polite or available, but you're actually making yourself invisible in your own life. The more you put yourself last, the more you disappear in the process. Your voice gets softer, your confidence fades, you begin to question your own goals, and eventually, you stop showing up for yourself completely. Not because you don't care, but because you've trained yourself to believe that everyone else's needs should come first. There's a cost to always being available. It steals your attention. It drains your drive. It robs your best hours. You can't keep giving away your time and expect to stay strong. You need space to think, time to act, and room to grow. You need permission to be unavailable. Not forever, just long enough to focus on your own life. Because no one else will protect your time like you can. No one else will guard your vision. If you want to move forward, you must stop letting everything around you slow you down. Putting yourself first means choosing what matters before the world chooses for you. It means saying no when you used to say yes out of guilt. It means stepping away from the noise and into your own priorities. You don't have to be rude. You just have to be clear. Clear that your goals are not optional. Clear that your dreams need time. Clear that you are not just a tool for someone else's progress. You have a life to lead. And if you don't prioritize it, you'll always feel like you're falling behind. People will keep asking. Tasks will keep showing up. Life won't pause. That's why you need a system that starts with you. A routine that gives you the first hour. A mindset that puts your focus on your growth before anything else begins. If you win the morning, you have a better shot at the rest of the day. But if you wake up and immediately put others first, you start from behind. And no matter how hard you try, it's hard to catch up when you never even had a head start. You can't give what you don't have. If your tank is empty, your support won't help anyone. That's why putting yourself first isn't about pushing people away. It's about showing up better for them later. But you can't do that if you're always drained, stressed, or distracted. Focus on your goals first, and you'll have more energy for others. Build your discipline first, and you'll become more reliable. Create your peace first, and you'll have more clarity when problems come. Taking care of yourself is the foundation, not the fallback. Too many people confuse self-neglect with sacrifice. They think always saying yes means they're doing the right thing. But sacrifice without structure just leads to burnout. You don't need to carry everyone's load to prove your worth. You need to carry your own with strength. And that begins by making space for yourself every single day. Time to learn, time to move, time to think, time to build. If you don't schedule it, it won't happen. And if it doesn't happen, you'll end each day feeling like you gave everything and gained nothing. There is no badge of honor for being last in your own life. You don't get rewarded for putting your needs aside forever. What you get is fatigue, resentment, and a quiet sadness that grows when you know you're capable of more, but never make time for it. You can avoid that. You can take control, but it starts with one hard choice: putting yourself first. Not out of arrogance, but out of respect for the life you want to live. That choice sets the tone, and the tone shapes the entire day. When you start strong, you think better, act faster, and feel more grounded. You stop waiting for the right moment. You stop asking for permission. You move from responsibility, not from guilt. That's the difference between those who lead their day and those who get lost in it. You either put yourself first, or you come last. And coming last in your own life is too high a price to pay. Choose now. Take the first hour for you. Use it wisely. Use it to become who you're supposed to be, before the world fills your time with everything else. Number 8. Block useless things before they ruin your progress. Every day is filled with distractions, waiting to hijack your time. They don't ask for permission. They just show up. A quick scroll, a pointless conversation, a notification that leads nowhere. These aren't just small interruptions. They are momentum killers. And if you don't block them early, they will quietly ruin everything you're working toward. The danger with useless things is they don't look dangerous at first. They look small, harmless, even entertaining. But over time, they add up. They fill your schedule with noise. And before you know it, the work that matters is sitting there untouched and forgotten. Progress doesn't disappear in one big moment. It fades through dozens of tiny choices to give your attention away. The task you meant to start gets postponed. The focus you promised yourself gets divided. The energy you had gets drained by things that give nothing back. That's how your day gets wasted, by the things that looked harmless, but had no purpose. You can't afford to give your limited time to what doesn't matter. You can't grow if you keep watering weeds. You have to create space for progress to exist. And that means protecting it from the useless. Blocking useless things isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about protecting your future. Every moment you waste on something pointless is a moment stolen from your growth. You only get so many focused hours in a day. If you give those hours away to nonsense, you are trading long-term success for short-term relief. It's a bad trade. It's easy to justify. Just one video, just one scroll, just one reply. But all those just one moments are stacking against you. They're taking from your results, and they never return anything valuable. You have to be honest about what's wasting your time. Look at your day and ask yourself, what's helping me and what's hurting me? Not everything that feels good is good for you. Not everything that feels urgent is important. Some things only exist to steal your attention. You have to be strict. You have to be selective. Not because you're rigid, but because you respect your time. If you don't respect your own time, no one else will. And if no one respects your time, your goals will keep getting pushed aside. People lose hours every day to distractions they never planned for. That's what makes them dangerous. They show up uninvited, and if you don't stop them, they take over. You won't feel it immediately. But at the end of the day, when your real work is still waiting, you'll feel it. The guilt, the regret, the frustration. They come when you realize the hours are gone and nothing meaningful got done. Blocking useless things is about preventing that feeling. It's about keeping your energy where it belongs, not letting it slip away piece by piece. The simplest way to protect your progress is to create a schedule and defend it. You decide what time belongs to focused work. You choose what matters today. Then you cut out everything that doesn't fit. You silence what doesn't serve you. You say no to things that don't lead anywhere. That structure gives you strength. It makes you efficient. It keeps you aligned with what you're building. Without it, your day becomes a playground for distractions. You wander through tasks with no urgency, and that's when progress slows to a crawl. Most people don't fail because they're not smart or capable. They fail because they let useless things fill their time. They allow low-value tasks to take up high-value hours. They react instead of choosing. They chase notifications instead of results. You can't live like that and expect to win. Winning requires intention. And intention means asking yourself, every hour, is this worth it? If it's not, block it. If it doesn't build your future, get rid of it. It's not discipline that's hard. It's tolerating the cost of being distracted that's unbearable over time. You don't have to eliminate everything. You just have to draw the line. When you're working, work fully. When you're resting, rest completely. But don't blur the two. Don't pretend scrolling is rest. Don't lie to yourself about quick breaks that turn into lost focus. Be real with yourself. Your time is either working for you or against you. If it's not helping you move, it's slowing you down. There's no middle ground. That's why blocking useless things isn't optional. It's necessary if you want to control your day instead of getting lost in it. The world will never stop offering you distractions. There will always be something new to click, something meaningless to read, something loud to listen to. But you don't have to accept every offer. You can pause, you can decide. You can lead your day instead of letting it pull you in 100 directions. That's the power of blocking what doesn't matter. You train your brain to stay locked in. You develop the strength to say no. And with every no to the useless, you're saying yes to the progress you deserve. You can't afford to let your goals be delayed by things that don't deserve your attention. Not when time is so limited. Not when your future is being shaped right now by what you do today. So start cutting. Start clearing space. Remove the junk, the noise, the habits that steal your hours. Protect your focus like it matters, because it does. Block useless things before they ruin your progress. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Right now, because once the day is gone, it's not coming back. And what you allowed in will either build you or break you. Number 9. Create your own rhythm or dance to theirs. You either build your own pace or get swept up in someone else's. If you don't wake up with a structure, a plan, and a clear rhythm to follow, you'll move according to other people's timelines. They'll call, they'll message, they'll pull you into what they think is important. And because you never created a beat of your own, you follow theirs. That's how people lose days, not from doing nothing, but from doing everything that had nothing to do with their goals. When you don't create your rhythm, you give your energy to anything that demands it. The power of rhythm isn't just about order, it's about control. When you start your day with a pattern you trust, you eliminate hesitation. You don't have to guess what comes next. You don't waste energy figuring out where to begin. You already decided that clarity sharpens your thinking. You stop drifting. You stop getting pulled. You don't panic when the unexpected shows up. You adjust without breaking. That's what rhythm gives you. Steady ground in a world that's always moving. Without it, even small challenges feel like chaos because you never built a stable pace to stand on. Most people live their day reacting to life. They do what's urgent. They respond to what's loud. They move at the speed of someone else's problems. But that rhythm is unstable. It keeps changing. You can't build anything solid on that kind of chaos. That's why you need your own beat. You need a flow that fits your goals, your priorities, your values. And you need to protect that flow from things that don't belong. Because once your rhythm is broken, it takes time to recover. And time is the one thing you can't get back. When you build your rhythm, you start each day with decisions already made. You don't wait to feel ready. You follow the structure you created. That structure gives you direction, even when motivation is gone. It tells you when to start, when to focus, when to pause, and most importantly, it reminds you what matters. Without it, you fall into the trap of doing what everyone else is doing. And that might look productive, but it's not progress. Progress is personal, and it only happens when your schedule is built for your mission, not someone else's. The world will always try to speed you up or slow you down. 1 minute, you're overwhelmed with demands. The next, you're stuck in delay. If you don't choose your own rhythm, you'll be forced to move at the wrong speed all day, and that's exhausting. It's the reason people feel burned out, not because they did too much, but because they did it in a way that wasn't right for them. They weren't leading, they were following. And when you follow too long, you forget how to lead yourself. Creating your rhythm means knowing your peak hours. It means choosing the right tasks at the right time. It means working with your energy, not against it. You're not a machine, you're a person with limits, focus windows, and rest needs. If you ignore that and just respond to life, you break down. But if you understand how you work best and build your day around it, everything becomes smoother. You waste less time. You recover faster. You get more done with less stress. That's the power of rhythm. It brings balance and results at the same time. No one can build your rhythm for you. They might try, but it won't fit. It'll feel forced. It'll leave you drained. That's why you have to do the work yourself. You have to learn what works. You have to try, test, and refine. And then you have to stick with it. Not for perfection, but for consistency. Because rhythm is built through repetition. It gets stronger each time you follow it. And when it becomes your standard, it protects you from chaos. You don't get thrown off by every little thing. You know how to return to center. You don't owe your time to every request. You don't have to say yes just because someone else is in a hurry. You don't have to match their pace. You have your own. And when you honor that, you start feeling in control again. You start finishing what you start. You stop running in circles. That kind of control doesn't just change your productivity. It changes how you see yourself. You start believing in your own strength. You start trusting your own path. And that trust builds confidence that no one can take from you. Most people are chasing structure, but they've never built any. They want calm, but they live in noise. They want progress, but their day has no direction. That's why creating your rhythm is more than a routine. It's a decision to stop living by accident. You stop waiting for life to get easier. You stop depending on external motivation. You move by choice, not by chance. And when the rhythm is yours, everything becomes more intentional. Your thoughts, your actions, your results, they all start aligning with your future. There's only one way to make sure your day belongs to you. Create the rhythm before anything else takes over. Don't wait until things fall apart to get serious. Build your pattern now. Stick to it. Strengthen it. Because the more consistent your rhythm, the more control you have. And when you control your rhythm, you control your results. But if you wait too long, you'll be forced to dance to someone else's tune. And by the time you notice, your time, your energy, and your life won't be yours anymore. Choose now. Build your rhythm before it's taken. Number 10, ignore your priorities and watch your peace disappear. Peace doesn't disappear overnight. It fades when you start neglecting what actually matters. When your priorities are ignored, something else always fills the space. You get busy, but not productive. You move all day, but don't move forward. And that creates frustration, deep, invisible frustration that grows with each hour spent doing everything but the important things. You can't feel calm when your goals are buried. You can't think clearly when your mind is filled with tasks that don't belong to you. The more you push aside your priorities, the more your peace turns into pressure. Ignoring your priorities is like turning down your own voice. You know what matters. You know what needs your attention, but you keep delaying it. You keep making room for things that don't give anything back. And every time you do that, you weaken your focus. You doubt your decisions. You feel disconnected from the life you're trying to build. That's the cost of ignoring the important things. They don't just disappear. They sit there, waiting. And while they wait, they drain you. Not because they're hard, but because they're being avoided. When you give your time to low-value tasks, you don't just lose time, you lose trust in yourself. You start to feel unreliable. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. You say the timing isn't right, but deep down you know you're falling behind. Not in the world's eyes, but in your own. That's the part that hurts the most. Not that others can't see it, but that you know it. You know you could have done more. You know what you're avoiding. And that internal conflict takes your peace faster than any outside pressure ever could. Peace comes from alignment, from knowing your actions are connected to your purpose, from finishing what you start, from being clear about what matters and making sure it gets done. You don't get peace from scrolling through distractions. You don't get peace from saying yes to everything. You get peace by doing the hard things, the ones you keep putting off, the ones that carry weight, the ones that actually move your life. Avoiding those tasks doesn't remove the burden. It increases it. Every delay adds mental clutter, and mental clutter steals clarity. There's a lie people believe, that they can handle everything and still come back to their priorities later. But later often never comes. Life doesn't slow down for you to catch up. It just keeps moving. And the more you let other people or distractions dictate your schedule, the further you drift from your real goals. And when you drift far enough, you forget how it even felt to be focused. You forget what it's like to end a day with real progress. You lose the peace that comes from living on your own terms. Ignoring your priorities creates a silent stress. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It shows up as a quiet frustration, a feeling that something's off, a weight in your chest you can't explain. That's your mind trying to remind you of what you're ignoring. That's your body reacting to your own lack of alignment. People look for peace in routines, environments, or people. But real peace starts with doing what you said you'd do, with showing up for your goals before showing up for distractions. Without that, no system or strategy can give you calm. If your day feels chaotic, ask yourself one question. Did I focus on what truly matters? Not what was urgent, not what was easy, what matters? Most days the answer is no, and that's why stress builds. Not because of how much you did, but because of what you didn't do. Your brain knows what's missing. Your goals don't just go away. They sit in the background, pulling at your thoughts, asking for your attention. And when they don't get it, your peace suffers, your clarity fades, your motivation disappears. You can't control everything in life, but you can control what you give your time to. You can control what gets your full attention. And if you give that to your real priorities, peace follows. You feel clear. You feel steady. You don't rush. You don't panic. You move with purpose. That's not a personality trait. It's a decision. A decision to stop wasting your best hours. A decision to stop avoiding what matters. A decision to lead your life, instead of waiting for the right moment to begin. No one else will protect your priorities for you. If you don't guard them, they will be replaced by other people's demands. And once that happens, your energy will always be used for things that aren't yours. That's when burnout shows up. That's when peace becomes a memory. But the fix isn't complicated. You don't need to do more. You just need to start with the most important. Every morning, claim your priorities before the world claims your day. Write them down. Block the time. Defend it. because no one else will. You can either build your day around what truly matters, or watch it get taken by everything that doesn't. There's no middle ground. You either act on your purpose, or get used by distraction. And when your priorities are ignored, your peace doesn't just fade, it vanishes. You feel lost, you feel behind, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Choose different. Lead your time. Protect your focus. Respect what's important. Because the moment you start honoring your priorities again, your peace returns. Not as a reward, but as a result of finally living in alignment. The choice is always yours. You can wake up and lead your day, or you can let the world take it from you. One decision at a time, one distraction at a time, one delay at a time, until you're left wondering where the day went. But it doesn't have to be that way. Start strong. Plan clearly. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Take responsibility for your time, your actions, and your results. Control your day, or watch it get used by everything that doesn't serve you. Decide today that your life moves by your direction.